Hi, so welcome to another video. So today is on Thursday. It was 10th, I think. Yeah, 10th of Thursday. Already we have a turn to Friday, but I want us to look onto this trade that we took on both gold and EU. Right, so we'll be a quick one because I don't want to take a lot of time, a lot of precious time of you. So today what you can see is price has been really bullish as of yesterday after price tapped into this context area, the weekly fair value gap, as well as somehow the monthly IR that we've been talking about. What we saw price do is start displacing, going higher. So inside these weekly fair value gap, these context area, my context area, the weekly fair value gap, what we saw is price kind of consolidated, pushed back high, dropped lower to sweep the liquidities, kind of consolidated, failed to take these lows because the fair value gaps were failing to do their jobs. So we have these fair value gaps that were failing to do their jobs. This bearish fair value gap didn't push prices towards this low, and what we did see is displacement of price above these fair value gap and also above these down close candles, confirming a bullish order block as well as a bullish change in state of delivery, which was fully confirmed when this candle closed above these highs, creating a market structure shift. Having known or seen that we have that market structure shift, the first thing I was to target was this high that was taken on there. And then as of yesterday, if you're in my Telegram channel, you can notice I did a video also here in YouTube. You can go previously check on it. The prior video before this on YouTube, you can see that I was targeting. I had my first target and then my second target that were both met yesterday. And my third target was these daily week consequent encroachment, then later on the all-time highs, right? So all that was taken, and since we have a clear target and the market has already confirmed to me that indeed we are bullish. Now the thing I wanted to do is align myself. So off the 4-hour time frame, wherever I trade the New York time, so the 9 a.m. candle, this is the candle that I traded. I usually trade the 9 a.m. So at that moment in time, what I did see is price had formed that fair value gap. This candle had already tapped into that fair value gap, right? Then we displaced higher, but we rejected lower, which wasn't really good for me because somehow the market can decide to reverse. So I look for an area, this candle's high, whereby we had already swept the liquidities with this 5 to 8 a.m. candle. So if I see price breaking through that level, this level, which was these candles high that had already been taken, so there is no need for the market to displace above it if we are bearish. But if we are bullish and we see displacement above it, then I had to look for an opportunity. So I had to drop lower, maybe to 1-hour time frame, and try to see what was happening at that moment in time. So this was the high. This was the high. We are in a bullish market. What the last thing I want to do in a bullish market is trying to look for shorts. I don't want to look for any shorts. If the market just displaces lower until I have a confirmation that indeed we are bearish, we have shifted from being bullish after sweeping maybe a major liquidity pool, I need to have some confirmation. I need to have also a target. Minus those two things aligning, then I don't want to go in yet. We are in a bullish trend, right? So at this moment in time, this is the candle I was watching. I saw that sweep, so I was off the market. What I did is I just had my alert there. If the market was to be bullish, I will be alerted. So what happened? The market continued tanking lower. We had nothing that could draw the market going lower, an example of a fair value gap. But later on, we reversed when this candle formed the lows. This next candle swept the lows, and then we displaced expansively above. So around that high where I had too long, I had my alert there, so my alert was triggered, and therefore coming back, I found this candle printing. It hadn't really closed, so what I did, I dropped further onto the 5-minute time frame, and as this market confirmed this fair value gap, I saw this candle had like 40 seconds to confirm this fair value gap. I just entered a trade there. I didn't really place it at this fair value gap because if I had it there, then it could be almost missed opportunity, right? So immediately that was to be confirmed. This fair value gap entered there, and the market has been pushing higher. Currently, we haven't really hit our 1 to 2 IR, but I'm expecting. But also my stop loss currently is at break even. It should be even at this low. Should be at this low. So immediately I'm done with this video, I will be moving my stop loss to this. If the market takes me before hitting maybe the 1 to 2, then I will be also closing in profit. So that's what I'd seen for gold. And if you can go to DXY, because my EU trade was based on DXY, what I did see off the 4-hour time frame, or of what I've been really intending to do, is I wanted to see the market rally off this weekly fair value gap. You can go back to the weekly to this weekly weekend or the pre-week market analysis, and you will see my intentions on this trade. So what had happened is, before this is the candle I usually want to trade. So upon coming to the charts, the market had already displaced. I think I watched this candle close. Yeah, I think I watched this candle close below the down close candles, confirming a 4-hour market structure shift. And the previous week's low was my target. And generally, I want to see the market rally to these fair value areas low. So having that in mind, having this target and this, now the biggest thing was to look for how I can execute, how I can align myself with this direction, find a trade, then go lower. We had this 4-hour possible fair value gap. So these are 4-hour IR. I usually mark the 4-hour IR because sometimes you can create a thing like this where they overlap, leaving behind a fair value gap. Let's see one of the examples. I think I've shown you before. we have a fair value gap that has been formed, but the market doesn't really trade into it. What we do is creating an immediate rebalance, then the market drops or continues higher. A good example is this bullish one. We have a small bullish fair value gap around this area. So the market had this fair value gap, but before this candle pushed higher towards those liquidities, what we did is we created an immediate rebalance, then we continued higher before even stinging into that fair value gap. Then later on we stung into that fair value gap and we continued going higher. So that's what sometimes happens. The market doesn't really sting into the fair value gap, reacts off the IR. So that's why I had it there, and also the 4-hour fair value gap. If we don't react off that IR, then I will also expect the 4-hour fair value gap to be traded into. So having done that, I dropped down to the lower time frames to determine, is it likely that the fair value gap or the IR will be traded into. So I dropped onto the 1-hour time frame, and what I did notice is we were forming bearish fair value gaps. The market was tanking so heavily, and these we had formed a fair value gap there, had a sting into it. Then we had a candle closure below this candle slow. So seeing that, and the market was displacing, I needed to see whether we could form an immediate rebalance, because it could have been really high probability if I'd seen the market create an immediate rebalance, then continue with the drop. But that didn't happen, and therefore I needed to refine further. Should I expect maybe price to tap into this now fair value gap, or can we continue lower? So I dropped further onto the 30 minutes time frame, and what did I notice is we had that 30 minutes fair value gap that was traded into, and as this candle was closing below this low, because the market has already swept this candle slow, if indeed we are bearish, we should close below it. If we are bullish towards this fair value gap, the 4-hour fair value gap, because we are in close proximity, then there's no need for the candle to close below these prior 30 minutes low that had already been swept. So I was monitoring what was happening around this moment in time, and if we go to the 1-hour time frame, what you can notice is it's slightly around the 0.25 level of this week. So I dropped further. I had a line there at the 0.5 level of this weekly week, and then I dropped further onto the 15 minutes time frame. And as the market was displacing below these 30 minutes fair value gap, and also seeing that we were closing below these bullish candle that had reacted off this 15 minutes fair value gap, then I took my entry there. Today I took a 1 to 3. Was for DXY, I think it went straight to the TP. But if you go to, because immediately I saw this closing below, I just entered an EU buy, right? So this buy was taken at around this candle 945. So if you go to EU, because EU was the stronger pair compared to GU, so 945 is the same time you can notice this trade was taken. If 945 is the same time market this trade was taken. 1 to 3 wasn't really hit as fast as DXY, but what we saw is price dropped. Then later on we pushed onto the TP and a nice 1 to 3. But also at this moment in time, remember we had this fair value gap. I was communicating this to the Telegram group. If you're not there, you can join there. Please, if you need maybe the link, just DM and I will share the link onto you. So we have a liquidity run over here. Since we have this fair value gap, I was watching how price was to react to that high. If we were to be bullish, I wanted to see candle closing above this level. We were having these sweeps, which to me at first were questionable. Maybe you are sweeping the high, then we continue lower. But I was patient with this, waiting for more candles. Then immediately we closed above there. Then I was kind of confident that indeed we could see higher prices, and the market rallied towards those highs, as earlier on communicated on the Telegram group. So that was today's trading. So we had a 5R day, and not really 5R, because currently I think I should be trailing my stops here, and hopefully these 2R will be hit, hopefully. So that's what I'm anticipating, and that was our trading today. So if I can take you to this Telegram, where you can search also the name of these ranks MM exam. So this is where I had communicated about EU. I'm in EU buys 1 to 3, but intending to take 80% off at 1 to 2. So also this level I was watching with DXY confirming bearish trend. Now I want to execute longs on EU and GU till the fair value area low liquidity for DXY are taken. So yeah, this was also the level I was watching for gold, for bullish pricing towards the all-time highs. Price has to displace above the previous month's high, the PMH, and the prior 4-hour high. Lower time frame displacement above the 2 levels, and then I'll execute towards the daily week 50% level, which was the first target, and the second target, the all-time highs. Yeah, and that's what I was expecting today. Confirmed earlier. This was the trade before, when it was taken around 945, with also DXY around that time. Then we were monitoring that. I was watching the liquidity run, really watching. I don't know, we had these spelling mistakes, I don't know, didn't see that, but I guess you can relate. Really watching for the liquidity run, if bullish, if we have a liquidity sweep, or if a liquidity sweep happens, then a likelihood to the 4-hour fair value gap is possible. I also said gold looks clean to the all-time highs now. That was around 552. I didn't share the gold trade because sometimes I thought it wise I shouldn't really be feeding maybe someone can depend on the signals, but that's not really the intentions, right? So I didn't share that, but I took my screenshot. That was the time immediately we displaced above the 2 levels that I was watching. Then later on, you can see the market displaced. Now we're just waiting for that. So you can join the group, is free, and if there is any value that you want to be provided, feel free to ask, and I'll get back to you, and maybe see on how we could help one another. So that is it for today. Hopefully you're having good day, and hopefully you did have maybe a blue day, right? And if not, no worries. Just hope that you're getting better, you're improving, you see some footsteps, even getting the direction right. If you cannot execute, but you did get the direction right, that's one step onto the right direction, right? So don't beat yourself up. Just keep on working, keep on pushing, and then one day it will just click. So that is it for today. We can call it a day for this moment. Let me go and journal. I will be sending my journal to the Telegram group, and so I also go through it. So till next time, be safe.